Okay, so part two for the feminism. We actually have a special invisible guest right on my left. And yeah, that's basically, the guy that called in the first part. And he actually, just before I started this, kind of
enlightened us on certain things.
A little more in-depth explanation for feminism. If you could repeat that, that would be great.
I basically was saying that we first need to understand what feminism is. And feminism is taking back the power structure that for Western civilization, women have been always second-class citizens. Men have definitely had control at the top of the social hierarchy. Feminism is a form of women taking back their power, trying to be or try to be on par with men's power. However, society is still structured towards a patriarchal society. So sometimes it's very important to point out that there are different degrees and different levels of feminism, and that there's the radicals, there's the moderates, and we have to remember that some feminists probably don't really understand what feminism is in the first place, and there are women who do really understand what that term means, and so we definitely have to look at the varying levels, but also too we need to look at how women are actually trying to operate in a male-dominated society, about retaking that power. Retaking that power sometimes means of a woman dressing as a bull dyke and inheriting male tendencies. That way they can seem like they have power, but feminists can also be in the form of a sexy, beautiful Tahitian, and she's taking that power back by making guys subservious to her beauty, and so there's different ways how women take that back. But yeah, so just keeping in mind what feminism really is, and understanding how women try to take back their power in certain degrees, in certain ways.
Yeah, that's pretty good, isn't it? So, actually, what I would like to say to that is, yeah, I really don't, have any problem with women trying to get back power. I mean, I really do believe in equality, like wholeheartedly, and the radicals, as he put it, I would believe to say that they don't even want men in the picture. Would you agree?
Yeah, some radicals believe that it should just be women.
Yeah. So, let's see, what else?
But I think something else that is important to even before addressing feminism is whether biologically males are always more of a superior nature. I mean, take an example. We have to take in the fact that women are meant to carry our children. They're meant to be the holders of life. Men have always had a role of being the protectors throughout history. We're physically made to protect the women, to protect our offspring. So biologically, we have to look at male differences and female differences, and try to understand whether males are inherently going to be more aggressive and more dominating than our female counterparts, and if that translates to a real difference in our society.
Yeah, I actually have something to add on that. There was a book that my English teacher had us read. Well, not really the entire book, but an excerpt of it. Basically, it was called Femme Mentale, I think, or something like that. And it was basically talking about how there are different types of brains, and that men and women have the potential to have either one of these four. Basically, it's the traditional female brain, the non-traditional female brain, the traditional male brain, and a non-traditional male brain. So, basically, what I get out of that...
You have the psychotic brain like I do.
Yeah. There's that one too, I guess, But the way I look at it is that basically a female with a non-traditional female brain basically has male tendencies where they actually want, dominance and all that stuff like that. And it also talked about how the difference between men and women and how they talk when other people are around. So let's say in a social in an environment where there are men and women, the men would actually be talking more because of their dominant nature, and the women would just be sitting there doing nothing, or like behind them, or just quiet as hell. But if the environment were entirely women, it's a different story. They talk a whole lot about more things and with more detail. So
no, I definitely agree that just looking at communication aspects between males and females, if you look back through when time first started, there's differences there. Males tended to be more hunters. Therefore, you see in male communication, we verbalize a lot less. We'll say hi with a nod or with a hand in the air. And that's because in the past, we've been hunters, and we never wanted to give ourselves away. And so in order to communicate verbally without being exposed, we would use gestures and signals, which is you'll still see in male communication. Just look at the way males interact with friends. And versus females, they've been mostly the gatherers. And so...
Is that the ninja spider?
I think it is.
What's that?
The ninja spider.
Oh. And so women will go out and gather food, and they communicate and talk with each other because they're spread out, and they want to make sure that they're all in communication with each other that way, and an aggressive animal doesn't come by and prey on them. So they all notice that they're still alive. So just taking communication is a factor in understanding more about male dominance and female their new power structure coming into play, and especially in American culture.
Yeah, I think we pretty much covered a lot on that. So let me actually mention why I started the video in the first place. I said I was going to elaborate more on other things before I started talking about it. But basically what happened is in the same English class, a guy presented on a book, and in it had a feminist view of marriage. And in it said that marriage is legalized rape. And not just that, it's fucking slavery of women.
The guy said that?
No, it was a book. It was written by a female.
Oh.
But,
should hang her by her ovaries.
Like I said, that's why I was like, oh my god, gotta have Jason comment on this. But,
yeah.
Okay, no offense, and I'm just gonna put this kind of out there. How often do girls pay for dinners when they get taken out?
Well, I guess it would actually depend on the girl, and if the girl was actually...
Depend the level of feminist that she is.
Yeah, yeah. There you go.
Or depending on the level of greediness she is.
Yeah.
I thought I'd like it better on a full stomach. Just saying. There's some things like that's fucked up.
Now, my comment on that...
I don't see no dudes getting diamonds fucking for their wedding day, no.
We get, just a regular old fucking copy ring.
Yeah. Fucking lug nut.
I think women made bank with institutional marriage. I mean, they get 50%, especially in California, they get 50% of assets, and statistically, men make more than women. So hey, they're making out. They have some power there.
And not to mention that more than half of marriages end in divorce, and more than those marriages will end up marrying someone else and getting divorced again. So if you think about it, I can use my siblings for fucking this shit. They've been each divorced already once, and one of them's barely 30, and the other one's 35. But I mean, statistically, my brother could be losing half his shit again, and my sister could be gaining half of some other dude shit again. Dude, that's fucking cold.
Yeah. I actually have a lot more to say, but we got about less than 30 seconds. So,
maybe
part 3.
Part 3.
There will be a part 3.
This might go into hours and hours of conversation.
Yeah. So, stay tuned.